Yeah, I've been banging the Kendrick a little bit. I also still play the Chronic all the time. That's my album right there. So, uh,
2001 or the original?
original joint, man. My
True,
first hip hop album.
true,
Used to
true.
sneak in my uncle's room and listen to it. So,
2001,
yeah.
a classic too, though.
Yo, welcome to Beers and Bars.
Your place for rapid fire hip hop discussion and, of course, great beer.
I am Kamal Kiddo.
OT the Golden Child. Thank y'all for checking out our last episode. If you have not checked that episode out, man, we kind of switched it up a bit, did something fun, went head to head with two of Michael Jackson's best albums, considered by most, Thriller and Off the Wall. We kind of critiqued which one we thought was better and whatnot. So check out episode 253 if you haven't. First time listeners, first time watchers, make sure you subscribe, please. We appreciate all the support that we receive. A lot of faces on the screen if you're listening to this out there in this podcast world. We got some guests here. I'm gonna come on, what we doing today? What we talking about, man? What's happening?
Well, before we get into the show, we got this is the show actually. We are today talking to the good fellas of Black Calder Brewing and Mike Gemma from Haymarket Beer Company. Black Calder, we got Terry and Jamaal. Introduce yourselves, gentlemen. I want you all to introduce yourselves and get us going. I don't want to mess up anybody's name or position and all of that good stuff. So tell us. Let's start with Jamaal. Tell us what do you do over at Black Calder Brewing and what's your, tell us about yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Jamaal Ewing. I'm kind of the operations guy at Black Calder. Originally from Lansing, but been in Grand Rapids for a number of years. And I met Terry about 5 years ago and got to talking about how cool it would be to start our own brewery. And, we ended up kind of where we are.
Right on, right on. And Terry, what do you do over at Black Calder?
Yeah, man, I'm Terry Rostic. I'm a GR native through and through. Shout out to the Gumroot. And I make dope beer for dope people. I'm the CEO of Black Calder Brewing Company. So,
Mike, thank you, fellas. Mike is back again. He's alumni at this point. This is family. You know what I'm saying? Over at Haymarket, they just had an event. They've been having a weekly event Sundays with the Fly Nerd Group. If you are in the Chicagoland area, go ahead and go down to what's the address, Mike?
Yeah, we're at 737 West Randolph in the West Loop neighborhood of Chicago. So, thanks for having me on again, guys. It's fun that I can bring friends this time. Even more friends.
So we're going to talk about, they got a just one beer, or is it?
Yeah, this will be the feature, the highlight, the latest and greatest.
Right on. So we'll be talking about their collaboration there. Just another day. Just another day. Let's get into it. We could really get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and crack this open. But first off, I had a question about the can before we even started. I had a question about the can. I see that's Terry and Jamaal in the front seat of the car, right?
mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, who is in the back seat?
So my man LaRon is in the back seat. He is the artist, right? He's out of Vegas. So he's a code artist. He did the label. And then my guy behind Jamaal in the back seat is Mark. Mark is the head brewer over at Haymarket. Cool cat. So we all kind of collaborated together on this recipe. And so I thought it'd be dope to throw us in there. There's a hidden person in there. Mike Gemma is also on that label. He's back there playing dominoes, about to get boned on real quick.
I was wondering if that was Mike.
Okay.
Do a good game of bones.
Right on. Let me ask. I see. Is there anything significant about this neighborhood or about the houses for any reason? Just checking.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, bro. So yeah, the house, that's the main feature, the two-story house right there, the green and white house. So that's the house I grew up in. That's my granny's house, right in the smack dab of the hood in Grand Rapids. So I wanted to pay homage to that. There's also a lot of little hidden nuggets on there. we good at throwing hidden nuggets on our labels, right? You'll see two kids playing catch with a balloon. But if you look deeper on the balloon, you'll see a bullet on the balloon, right? And the bullet is face towards the little black boy. So, it kind of shows like, we're targets at very young ages and things like that. Our beers and things like that spark the conversation. So you'll see a lot of little hidden fun stuff in there like that.
So Haymarket, well, first of all, before we even get into the collaboration, how did Black Calder, for those that don't know who you all are, what you all do, you all are out of the what city in Michigan?
Grand Rapids, second biggest city in Michigan outside of Detroit. So about 2 hours from Detroit.
And so why start a brewery? Why start a brewery? What brought you all to, you know what? We should do this. We could do this.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll let Jamaal jump in too as I say what my piece is. But sometimes we ask ourselves every damn day, why did we start a brewery, right? Especially when when you production and trying to get shit up and going. And I'm sorry, can I cuss on this? My bad.
Yeah,
I ain't trying to disrespect nobody. Okay, sometimes I let them fly, but I looked around in the industry. So Grand Rapids, Michigan is known as Beer City, USA, right? It's been voted by US Today. We got like 80 breweries within our city. Some of the biggest breweries in the world come straight out of Grand Rapids. You got places like Founders. Bell's is pretty much West Michigan. Some of the largest breweries out there. And I would go to these breweries and I wouldn't see anybody who looked like us. The atmosphere wasn't like us. They couldn't speak to our culture. But what I did realize is it was some great liquid, right? It's great beer. Beer is super flavorful. Like, I grew up making Kool-Aid. I always tell people that's how I got into beer. It was by I used to make some dope ass Kool-Aid flavors, right? So now I'm like, yo, why can't I make some dope beer flavors? And so I got Mr. Beer Kit and started playing around with it. And I was like, I think I could do this. And, I think the timing was right. I had met Jamaal. Me and Jamaal didn't grow up together. Like he said, he's from Lansing. I am pure Grand Rapids, from the head to the toe. And we met one day at an event. Neither one of us was in the beer industry. Neither one of us was even in the same type of industry. We were actually trying to help minority subcontractors get jobs, right? Our whole goals and missions in life has always been to try to help people who look like us and do things for folks who look like us that include us. And so, it was really natural that we kind of gravitated towards each other. I'll never forget, I met Jamaal at this meeting. We're literally trying to help carpenters and people get into jobs. He's helping with job descriptions. I worked for a large construction company. I'm trying to get him paid. And I just walked over to dude after he was talking about what he do for business plans. I was like, yo, you want to start a brewery? Didn't know him. I mean, barely remembered his name. But it was like, he looked at me like I was crazy as hell. And he was like, yo, man, why you ask me that? So at first I thought I might have to square up with him. Yeah, but, at the end of the day, he was like, yeah, I do. And, we went on, had a couple meetings and, we said, oh, let's try to figure this out. And we've been banging ever since trying to get this thing going. So I don't know, Jamaal, you can hop in on that one too.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. I mean, I've been a fan of craft beer for a number of years and, meeting Terry and get to talking about beer and just how cool it would be to start our own and realizing that there wasn't really a presence for Black people in beer in Grand Rapids and really Michigan in general. So just taking that as kind of motivation to get something started on our own.
And how many years have y'all been rocking now?
Been about 5 years. Yeah, 2017.
And so, okay, and so we come up to today or this time where there's a well, first we went through you all started a few years before the pandemic, right? So how did with a new brand, a new company, how did the pandemic affect you all's operation at all?
So when I say 5 years, we met in 2017 and been planning it for 5 years. We actually started in the midst of the pandemic in 2020. I'll let Terry go into that a little bit.
Yeah, man. So Jamaal and I were trying, we won a little local award called from Start Garden. They gave us like $20K to keep trying to push our dream forward. We went into this pitch competition. So that was very helpful for us. We went through a few name identity crises, right? We started off as like King's Brewing Company. Then somebody sent us a stop and decease. Then we started off as Boston Square, which is a neighborhood right in the middle of Grand Rapids. That was like a heavily African-American populated part of our city. And then we got a stop and decease from a very large liquor brand who owned the word Boston, which was insane. Though we didn't have any crossovers. So, it took us a minute to get to the name Black Calder, but it felt right. Right. The name Calder, Grand Rapids could be known as Calder City. We have an Alexander Calder statue in the middle of it. And so, we're like, we Black. Calder represents Grand Rapids. We could take this anywhere. And so we came up with Black Calder. We were looking for buildings and spaces. Grand Rapids has got super gentrified in a lot of areas that we want to get into. You got large construction companies that own a lot of the property, or pretty wealthy, well-off families that have a lot of property, and we just could not get any traction. And so here it was 2020. We decided, we're just going to make this happen. And so we figured out how to launch our brand during the midst of the pandemic. It was November 2020. We launched our first beer, actually on Black Friday. We launched it. The Blackest Friday is what we called it, and we dropped our IPA. Our IPA was pretty cold work. We put the Death Row vibe cover as our first label, because we pay attention to hip hop, and we wanted to come out like Death Row, the one where Suge was like this, and Snoop and Dre and Pac was all on there. So we put hops on their heads, and we went after it. That was been our mentality since we got in. So we started kind of contract brewing with some local breweries to help at least get our brand out, and it's kind of blown up and taken off from there. So
right on. And what year was that?
That was 2020. So November 2020, like I said, people were shut down. Whitmer had us all locked up, and folks couldn't touch each other because we thought we was gonna die from COVID. But
right.
We was like, we got to get this dream out. It was by any means necessary, right? We was with that Malcolm with the AK, like, we not losing, we going forward. I don't give a shit what this looks like. We gonna get it out there, and we gonna fail or succeed by the end of this year, and we succeed. So.
That's what's up. So just another day. Mike, can you talk a little bit about how this collaboration came together?
Yeah, I actually met these guys, or was introduced to them from a friend of ours. You guys know him, Sam Ross.
Yeah.
The bar.
Juicy J.
Right.
I call him the Juicy J of the brew industry.
Yeah, so I got to meet Terry first when he came into town here in Chicago and brewed with Sam over at Goose Island. They got a really fun collaboration that went into some bourbon barrels, Blanton's barrel, I believe, right? Yeah. So that's going to be a fun one coming out later this year, I think. And then basically got to chatting with him and loved what Black Calder was about, and just the excitement of that new operation. And I mean, we had just wrapped our residency program too at the brew pub with all of the Black owned brewing entities here in Chicago. And it was such a success. And honestly, to me, I saw an opportunity to help support and carry that mission outside of the city of Chicago, being that Haymarket is also a Michigan brewery as well. And seeing that in Michigan, there's a lot more work to be done as well for representation in the brewing industry. So it kind of became a good fit. Terry and I got off on a decent foot and liked each other for a bit, got to meet Jamaal, and we started talking about what working together might look like. And they actually, I had heard of it before, but we brewed this beer specifically for an event that they introduced me to. It's called Barrel and Flow Festival down in Pittsburgh, and used to be Fresh Fest. So we're going to be heading down there. This was brewed specifically for Barrel and Flow, and going to have some fun on August 13th down there.
I'm happy you mentioned Barrel and Flow, and just looking at the can, that's on the can, as a matter of fact. The Barrel and Flow logo is on the can. Can I ask about another logo on here, the Dope Beer logo.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what's the significance of that? That's separate from Black Calder? What exactly, or is that just because it's a dope beer?
Yeah, that's a good question. So our logo is in the middle of the O on that joint. So our motto was very simple. When Jamaal and I came into the industry, we wanted to make dope beer for dope people. So you'll see a lot of our tagline, dope beer, because no dope in it, but it's dope as fuck is what we look at, right? So we always wanted to make dope beer. And so that's resonated a lot. We sold a lot of dope beer hats, a lot of dope beer t-shirts. I'm sure the dope brand will sue us eventually, but until then, we gonna be dope ass beer the way it is. So
Right on. So you all decided. How did you all decide on a India Pale Lager? How was that decided on? What ideas were coming about when you all wanted to put this collaboration together?
I think it just started with kind of a conversation of what we wanted to end up drinking, at the height of summer. It was going to be nice and hot outside. We threw out a bunch of different ideas. I think one of them was a shandy. Yeah, I think this ended up being a really fun one. You guys, correct me if I'm wrong, had not done a lager yet, and this was
we did a black lager.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
But just a fun, interesting twist. The India Pale Lager, that hoppy lager, is a really fun and exciting style right now. And we decided to hop this one up with Amarillo and Citra hops. So it's got that bright citrus aroma, just crisp and clean, easy drinker at 5%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, you guys tell them the good news too about the accolade.
Oh yeah, this joint just won a gold medal, baby. We the '92 Dream Team. We got a medal and everything now. Ready
wow.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. Jamaal and everybody, we wanted to come together and make like a summer sipper. That's what Jamaal always calls it. He's like, yeah, man, I just want a little summer sipper. And to me, like a 17% stout is a summer sip. I sip whatever. Like, it's summer, I'm sipping. But we wanted something that was light, smooth. You could have, playing a pickup basketball game and go crush one and still get back up on a court. We wanted to make something that was smooth, light, and crisp. We made a black lager, but we've never went the traditional lager route and things like that. And Haymarket makes some great, great beers. So we were able to really learn from Mark and just the Haymarket team about how they go through their process. So this has been a great, great experience all the way around. And we won some gold on it.
So this particular beer here won what did it win, or where did it win an award? Like, what's the specific award that it won? What entity? All that.
The competition was the Indiana Brewers Cup. They host it every year at their state fair, I believe. And the category it won was specialty or mixed style beer. And the India Pale Lager, that hybrid of an IPA with the hop bill and then that lager yeast, keeping it nice and crisp and sessionable.
Yeah.
So pretty big honor. That's pretty awesome. That's
pretty big. Yeah. Congrats. For real. Yeah.
I got one more question just for the people who check out the show who are, the aficionados, the beer nerds and whatnot. I saw Sam this weekend at Haymarket, Mike, and he was he was trying to break down exactly what an IPL, India Pale Lager, is. What's the specifics of it? What the combination of the two? Obviously, it features, things from a lager, things from an IPA. How does that come together? What makes it India Pale Lager?
So India Pale Lager, referring to a lot of the usage of hops. Like, it's heavily hopped throughout this thing. Additions in Whirlpool, but then also dry hopping, and it really packs that punch just like an IPA would, a traditional IPA. But then you use lager yeast, so it's cold fermented, longer period of time that it takes to do its thing in the tank, which kind of yields that really clean, crisp finish to the end of it. So
gotcha.
It's got kind of the finishing body of what you would think like a Pilsner would be, or any light lager, and then a ton of hops in between.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I
You know,
think
look at it like Drake, right? You know, Drake could go hard on the rap, and then all of a sudden he can just go sing. So you getting a combination, the best of both worlds. You can go
I like
hard,
it.
and then all of a sudden get right into the chorus and the hook.
I like it. I like that.
that's
I like
what's
that.
up.
Okay.
So I think somebody said this before, but who came up with the recipe? Who came up with the recipe for this? Who, or was it someone out of the brewer out at Haymarket in Michigan?
Yeah, Mark and Terry and Jamaal kind of talked through that entire recipe.
Okay.
I know that Mark has a huge passion and a very amazing talent with German lagers. So his knowledge of those yeast strains and kind of that process of lagering is just tremendous. So I know he loves the traditional styles, but enjoys exploring new styles and trying to figure out, how to implement those traditional processes while exploring something fun and kind of outside the box. So,
Okay.
Go ahead, OT. You got something?
Okay. Yeah. So just kind of taking it back some to somewhat of the beginning. I got in tune with you all from. I was seeing people like Afro Beer Chick talk about you guys. Shout out Shalonda. Obviously Sam. When the Uncommon joint came out last year, Kamal, Jay Westbrook actually did his interview for that promotion. He was with, our esteemed guest here. So
Oh wow.
yeah. I've seen some of you guys' beers. You guys have a dope emphasis on. The one that I think, and hopefully I'm getting this wrong, it was like a IPA for Pelican Bay, something like I forget.
Yeah. Basketball and Pelican Bay IPA.
Yeah, yes, and then you guys had another one. It was like a juice one. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So,
incorporate a lot of hip hop into what we do, right? And we do more than just hip hop. We did a porter, and we talked about the porters from Chicago.
Pullman Porter.
The Pullman Porters. Yeah, we did that. But hip hop's always been hip hop, movie, classic scenes have been huge. Even the name Just Another Day. We were actually during a break, during the Whirlpool and the boil and all the things that we were doing, and we went in the Haymarket and we were having a few drinks because that's what you do when you brew. You have a couple drinks, and they have an old record player over there, and I don't know if most people know that, and it's pretty dope. And they actually had the Chronic album on record, and I was like, "Yo, does this work?" And they got some cat out the kitchen because Mark didn't know what he was doing, so he grabbed some cat out the kitchen. And he got it going, and we just sitting there vibing. And then Dre came on so hard on "Let Me Ride." He was like, "Just another motherfucking day for Dre," and I was like, "That's the name of the beer."
Okay.
But then Mike Gemma stepped in. He said, "You can't say motherfucker on the can," so we went with Just Another Day. But
Mike, good job.
That was honestly, it's just that moment was just like, "Yo, this is it." It felt great. So.
That's fire. Because I was gonna ask, where the name came from and whatnot. So I mean, we got it right there. So you have the can, we have the name and whatnot that's on the can. Something that we kind of ask. So I'll ask this question as well. Right now, you guys don't have, or do you have an official brick and mortar?
Not yet.
Okay.
Still searching.
Okay.
Hopefully soon.
So that is an aspiration. You guys are wanting to take it that route, have an official, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir. We've been grinding for that for a minute, trying to find the right spot. And one of our biggest things, we could have probably had a spot by now, but we want to be authentic where we set up, right? We could have went into our downtown, we could have went into the suburbs, but I want to be in the city, in the hood, making a change, right? I grew up with, winos, all kind of folks. I mean, if you know what the hood life is like, if you've been in the hood or seen the hood, you know what's out there. I want to use our brewery to change the neighborhood, buy back the block, get on that Rick Ross, invest back in our neighborhoods. That's been huge for us. So, that's kind of slowed down our process because, we want to do it authentically. We want to get in the right spot and make that impact. You know, so we've been fighting a lot of those things, like I said, gentrification and things like that. But we're very close to finding a good spot that's going to work for us. That's going to be right in the hood. That's going to do that community transformation that we're trying to do.
Got you. Okay.
Let me ask real quick. So on our last episode, I'm gonna break off. I'm gonna veer off a little bit from the beer. But you know, on our last episode, we had a conversation about what's better, Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller, or Off the Wall. I don't know if you all are privy to these two albums. I know you know Thriller has Thriller. It has Beat It, Billie Jean, you know, Human Nature. These major, ultra big songs. Off the Wall has Rock With You, Working Day and Night. Girlfriend. I don't know if that's a popular song. But let me ask. I just want to ask real quick before
you're trying to start something. You trying to start something.
You funny because
I got Thriller.
Got want to be starring some also. See you trying to edge out.
I am.
But
go ahead.
What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? You may not have heard them in a while. Obviously, we listened to both albums to prep for that show. But what do you all think, man? Michael Jackson, the king of pop, Off the Wall, which is better, Off the Wall or Thriller? What does Haymarket and Black Calder say about this how this is decades? These been out for decades at this point. This decades long debate. What do you all say?
I'll let Michael Terry go first.
All right, so I'm gonna roll with Thriller, and let me tell you why.
True.
Right.
True.
I mean, Off the Wall was cold because it had "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough," Gemma. But let me tell you, anytime you got a cat laying in that "Come Get Me" pose on the album, I mean, Teddy P, we know what it's like. I mean, hell, I might put myself on a can laying up in that pose. Right there, you know that shit was where it was at. That's like, come on and get it. Leg kind of cocked, laying to the side, looking in the camera. You know, that's, to me, I mean, want to be starting something? I mean, that was like the anthem, like, you know, what you about? You know, that's Nuck If You Buck back in there. So
I like that.
That's funny. That's funny.
And Beat It, I mean, damn, Beat It was straight up a fight song. You know, he walking through the garage with knives and shit. I mean, that was Black Mike. He wasn't playing around. Jerry curl and all. So shit, I'm going with him. I mean, I know Off the Wall you had that big ass fro. This Jerry curl Mike. Jerry curl Mike was something else. I'm just rolling with you on that.
If you two dare, if you want to have any feedback, go ahead.
So I just had to. I've listened to both albums recently, but I had to pull up the track list on both of them. Listening to them,
time out. I don't want to interrupt my business partner.
I don't know if I can put one over the other listening to
them.
But my two favorite Michael Jackson songs are "Human Nature" and "PYT." So I got to go with Thriller on.
Thriller got some bangers. That's true.
Just based off the songs.
Man. Hold on, I don't want to crash your interview with Cap, bro. When you listen, you ain't listening to albums lately.
Cap. What else you gonna do on the drive to Virginia?
Cap.
But listen to Michael Jackson. I listen to like 8 Michael Jackson albums, man.
Mike, if you dare, man. I don't know when last time.
Personally, I lean Thriller, but we do have both albums on vinyl at the shop, so I'm gonna have to go back and check out which one's been worn down more, played more, just to get the consensus for a true all-encompassing Haymarket vote. But personally, I lean Thriller.
Okay,
true. But like I said, neither one are you gonna skip a song. It's they both, you can run them straight through, both of them.
Well, another music question before we get you guys out of here. Something I like to ask brewers. You know. It's I don't know what the term is called. It's brewing day, right? And you know, you got to get through the day, you know what I'm saying? Long, hard work. of getting all of everything you got to get done. What's your go-to? I mean, you can talk about genre, you can talk about album. Like, what are you listening to on Brew Day? What y'all banging out with?
Well,
besides the Chronic.
Yeah,
Mike, you too, man. Whatever, if whoever want to ask first, man, I'm gonna let y'all. I'm gonna kick that to y'all.
So I don't brew. I leave that to the professionals. But when I'm listening in on what they've tuned into, it's kind of all over the board. It's kind of hilarious. Like when Pete's in the brew house and in the Chicago Brew Pub, he's got Hootie and the Blowfish going. But then you got Mark probably listening to Rage Against the Machine or 9 Inch Nails. But then on a canning day, you walk in there and we turn it over to our guys, Aaron or whomever. We don't listen to music a ton on canning days, but when it's going or when they got their earbuds in, it leans a little bit more the rock and roll side.
Word up.
Turn up.
Okay. Black Calder, what y'all doing, man?
Yes, I think our first beer we was on Ghostface and Wu-Tang. I think when we brewed our first one, we did a lot of Pretty Tony or Supreme Clientele. Jamaal and I go back and forth. He knows Ghostface is the greatest Wu-Tang member of all time. But,
no argument.
You're gonna go see him too, right?
And then Tupac. We did one to All Eyes on Me. Like Pac gets me going. And Ambitions of a Rider. We'll get that rolling and some of that, and we be going. Yeah, I mean, pouring hops into that, bro. That don't get you hyped. I don't know what it can.
Okay,
that's what's up.
You going to see him soon, right?
Yeah, Wu-Tang is gonna be in Michigan. Yeah, I want to bring them boys some beer, man. I wish I could get in touch with them. I'm trying to get them, trying to get out there, man. We love a lot of Wu-Tang. All of them.
Wu-Tang Nas, if you're listening, we got beer for you.
Ooh, that'll happen. That can happen. That can happen. I think Ghost got a beer. I think he worked with somebody. He got a beer. I think
he got like a hard coffee or something
like that.
Yeah. We had reached out to Ghost on IG, and he had hit us back, and then he didn't hit us back again. But I was like, "Yo, Ghost," I get excited and shit, especially when they like hit me back. Like Rose, like one of our pitches. I told Jamaal, I was like, "Yo, we about to make a turnpike type IPA. We about to be with Ro." Because he liked one of our videos and shit. And then, I didn't hear back from him yet, but I'm still trying to get in. I keep like hitting him up like, "Yo, Rose, we ready for you." But yeah, Ghost had hit us back. And I was like, "Yo, man, we want to do a beer." He's like, "Yo, I'm not really into beer, man. Congrats, Young Kings." I sent him some articles. And he was like, "But what's that budget look like?" And I was like, "Yo, Ghost, we love you, man, but ain't really no big budget in this, and
we give you free beer."
Yeah, we got cases for you, son. Like
right.
Anything else? Come on, what you got?
Man, what's next? What's next for Black Calder, man? What's next? You all have your line of beers. Barrel and Flow is coming up, so just another day will be popping at Barrel and Flow. But before we talk about what is next, this beer is canned. Where is this beer available right now? Where is this beer available? Just another day. India Pale Lager.
It's available at retailers in Grand Rapids, Chicago, Lansing, Detroit. For right now.
Right on. Make sure you check your local. What stores are we talking stores? What stores are we in?
Ooh, I don't have the total.
I don't know if
you got the list.
In the Grand Rapids area, you can do Horrocks, Lansing as well. Horrocks did an awesome event last week at the Horrocks in
Kentwood
in Grand Rapids, and they sold out of 6 cases and pretty sure the half barrel by the end of that event. It was great. So they re-upped on that. A few of the Meyer stores around Grand Rapids are going to be carrying it as well, and a handful of bars and restaurants. GR Noir being one of them. Here in Chicago, we've got Bitter Pops, which is an awesome independent craft bottle shop. I'll be hanging out there this Friday night if anyone's around. Buy a beer and we can talk a little bit more about the project and everything like that. But this batch was smaller than most, so it's really not going to last too long. So we actually decided that we were going to run another batch back and double the size. So if you don't get some this time around, everybody, don't fret. We got some more coming for you.
I like that.
Word up.
And we could be in our first arena. We're going to be, or stadium, I should say. We're going to be in our minor league baseball stadium here in Grand Rapids. They're doing a Negro League tribute, part of MLB. So, hopefully we can get into some more stadiums, maybe into the Palace, or not even the Palace no more. Look, that's how old I am. I'm an old Piston cat, like the 80s knock you down Pistons. Though you see MJ in the back, I got much love for the Bulls in Chicago.
Okay, cool.
For that time, But yeah, we want to get into some more stadiums, arenas. Like, we coming for it all.
Yo, much continued success, fellas. Man, that's dope that you all started in the midst of a pandemic. You all already have a collaboration with Haymarket. Is more to come. Man, that's dope. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. I do have one more of these, and I'm feeling like, you know what, I might go ahead and just pop open another one. It is pretty crushable, it's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth for sure.
I wanted some more hip hop questions. I was ready to argue with Jamaal on live.
Oh snap.
See, we should have prepped for a whole. See, come on, we got to get y'all back on. We'll get some hip hop specific topics.
Well, I mean, I know both of you are. I know before we started recording, you all mentioned the Lupe joint, or what you all have been listening to lately. There was some Run the Jewels happening. Lupe, the new one from Lupe, Kendrick. Do we have a best album of the year so far? Do we have that yet, or maybe it's too soon to call? I don't know. Do we? Maybe honestly, never mind from Drake is the best of the year, perhaps. Maybe.
I love Jimmy Cook, so I can get down on that one. But I'm gonna have to go with Kendrick right now. I mean, that album. I mean, if we going just right now, I mean that shit was like a movie. I mean, you could just listen and you could close your eyes and you there. Like, I mean, that's how I felt on that one. I'm like, damn, like I'm seeing the motion picture in my head when he's rapping, and that to me, that's what I want people to see when they see our labels and drink our beer. They get the motion picture in their head, like, oh yeah, just another day, and they sipping and like, damn, sitting on my grandma's porch or rolling down the street in my 6'4", whatever just another day means to you. Sitting on your damn boat in your dockers, whatever just another day is for you. I want every sip to get you kind of that motion picture in your head, and that's what I felt like that Kendrick album did. So
that's what's up. Okay, Kendrick, y'all agree? Kendrick,
I agree with the album of the year being Kendrick so far for sure. Now, if that King's Disease 3 comes out later this year, then he might have some pretty big competition.
I don't know where he is on the screen, but that's my man's right now. I'm rocking. Yeah.
We're waiting for that one.
Big Nas over here, big Nas fan over here. So yeah.
Oh yeah, we love Nas too. I think that's one person we agree on the most out of all of our hip hop is Nas for sure.
So what so when you all do your work, when you brewing and whatnot. Wait, let me ask this. When you all first started the home brewing action, who was the home brewer? Who was brewing?
Both of us, really.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so
not together, separate, solo. We didn't know each other.
Terry's been brewing a little bit longer than I have, but we both have home brewed.
Wow, okay. And so what were some of your first types of beer you made?
The first one that I made was our black IPA that we came out with.
Okay.
And then after that, a mango pale ale, and a few other German style beers.
Okay, so you all So you all are familiar with the brewing process all around.
Oh yeah, we deep in it. We don't typically just show up and take a photo and bounce out. I mean, we pouring the hops in there. We're part of the recipe. Like, this is what we do. I think it's going to be to a point where this is the fun part, getting in the grind and figuring out the recipe and how to do it right. And when I started off, man, I made some terrible ass beers. I ain't gonna hold you up. I mean, I remember I tried to barrel age a beer out of a Mr. Beer kit. I thought just putting in a few teaspoons of bourbon in that bitch was gonna make it all right. So yeah, man, a lot of trials and tribulations, but it's been fun over these decades or so doing this. So.
Wonderful.
Hey, man, that's how it is in the beginning, but that's a beautiful thing, man. Y'all, look at this, man. Fire. This is fire, man.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, OT.
I'm good, man. Beers and Bars. We appreciate y'all for coming on. Y'all make sure y'all check the beer out wherever. If you're in Michigan, get with Black Calder. Find out where it's at. Obviously, Mike, y'all still got a couple cans over at Haymarket if you're in Chicago.
Yes, we do.
All right, man. That's what it is. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.